Hare Krishna. So yesterday we completed second chapter, second verse, wherein uh, Krishna spoke, seeing the condition of Arjuna. Krishna spoke that how have these impurities. He expressed a surprise that how have these impurities come upon you. You are a Kshatriya, you are an Aryan. So how you are behaving in this way? Hmm. So we'll go to the third verse today. So here again, Krishna is continuing to address Arjuna that how all these weakness of heart has come, is being is manifesting in you. Hmm. So you are a great personality. He addresses here as the son of Pritha. Pritha is Kunti Devi. So how you are behaving in this way? Okay. Any one of you is available to read Mataji's? Nisha Mataji, are you available today to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
कलाभ्यं मा स्मागम पर्था नैतत्त्वम् उपापाद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्याक्तुतिष्व पारन्तप synonyms. Clavium importance. Mas ma do not. Gama take to Partha, O son of Partha, na never eateth this dye unto you. Upapadyate is befitting. Shudram pity, hridaya of the heart, Dorbalyam weakness, Tyaktavya giving up, Uttistha get up, Param tapa, O chastiser of the enemies. Translation: O son of Partha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O justicer of the enemy. Purport: Arjuna was addressed as the son of Pritha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only, and if the son of a Brahmana act impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriya and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relatives, but Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority, therefore, such magnanimity or so called nonviolence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Earlier also we had discussed this thing yesterday, in the last class, that false compassion. I mean, compassion also has to be applied at the right place. So here Arjuna's compassion is not approved by the Lord. So translation: O son of Pritha, Pritha is Kunti Devi, do not yield to this degrading importance. It doesn't become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. So repeatedly, somewhere Krishna addresses Arjuna as Dhananjaya, somewhere he addresses as Parantapa. So he is trying to um, remind Arjuna that okay, you are such a great personality. You cannot you cannot step back from the war. Mm. Purport. Arjuna was addressed as son of Pratha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father Vasudev. So Krishna's father is Vasudev, so Krishna is also called as Vasudev. Some places we will see he's addressed as Vasudev, son of Vasudev. Okay, so Kunti Devi was sister of Vasudev, so in that sense Arjuna and Krishna were cousins. If a son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only, and if the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. So that is actual in the Vedic system. It is not that by birth one is a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra, but as Krishna mentions in one of the verses in Bhagavad Gita, guna karma, guna as per qualities and as per activities. So one is categorized as Brahmana or a Vaishya or a Kshatriya or whatever. Now, if somebody is born in a Kshatriya family but is not behaving so, then he is not actually a Kshatriya. Similarly, if one is born in a Brahmana family but he is not behaving or he is not having those qualities and is not engaged in the activities that a Brahmana is supposed to do, then he is not actually a Brahmana. So here such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjuna to be. So, Arjuna was a Kshatriya and he was in the battlefield about to fight, and now his decision not to fight was not very proper. So, that's why Krishna doesn't approve that decision of Arjuna. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned, if Arjuna would give up the battle, then it would be a infamous act. He would be committing an infamous act. So all his reputation, all his name and fame as a great warrior, so everything will be lost. Therefore, Krishna said that. So here Krishna is, giving like a common person what specific reasons you would give. So he's still acting as a friend of Arjuna here. Arjuna has not taken that position of a disciple yet. So he's still acting in a he's not in a instructive. This is not mentioned in an instructive mood, but in a friendly mood. Like they are cousins, so they are like equals. So in that sense, Krishna is mentioning. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the ground of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and relatives. So, as earlier also in the first chapter we saw, one of the reasons he gave is all the elder members, they all will be killed. So all kind of the guidance to the younger members won't be there, then they'll be involved in irreligious practices and so on. So he gave so many reasons actually, but Krishna didn't approve of that magnanimous attitude of Arjuna here. But Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna. So, devotee, in previous chapter, we saw that Prabhupada had mentioned at certain places, it's not weakness of heart, but the soft-heartedness, because he was devotee, so he didn't want so much loss of life and distress, so much, all kind of the consequences after the battle. He was able to analyze that, so he didn't want that. So but as also it was mentioned that from a general point of view, if we see, my friends, my relatives, my own family members are there to on the opposite side to fight, how can I fight and kill them? And so that is a weakness of heart. And specifically for us conditioned souls, yeah, we fail sometimes. It so happens practically, many of us might have some experience like that. Someone may not approve of our practice of Krishna consciousness, and that happens in family or in friend circle and so on. And considering our relationship with that particular person or those people, we sometimes compromise with our Krishna consciousness. So that is also actually not approved by the Lord, because just like here, Arjuna was like, okay, my grandfather Bhishma Dev and all, how can I kill them and all? But Krishna had arranged everything. Krishna wanted the battle had to happen so that all the burden on the earth will be removed, the irreligious kings and all who they'll be removed. So it was all Krishna's plan. So Arjuna should go ahead with Krishna's plan. Similar way, we are, when we have got a human form of life, why we have got this human form, when we have got this human form, we have higher responsibility to be Krishna conscious. And this life is the key that we can go back to Godhead. But if we waste it considering our material relations, and trying to satisfy them, and thus compromising with our Krishna consciousness, so that is again against what Krishna desires. So Krishna actually wants all the living entities to come back to, like, to go back to him. But if we do not do that, then we are also in the same. Actually, we are all in the Arjuna. What is Arjuna doing? Arjuna is just depicting. He's just playing the role of a conditioned soul. So he's showing us our own position. Okay. So we'll go to the next verse. Fourth verse. Now Arjuna is saying something. Pramila Mataji, are you available to read? I doubt if you are. If not, then Nisha Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Mataji. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 2.4. Arjuna Uvacha Katham Bhishmam Aham Stankhye Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyot Swami Pujaryav Ari Sudana. Synonyms. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Katham, how Bhishma Aham, I Sankhye, in the fight. Drona Cha, also Madhusudana, O killer of Madhu, Ishubhi, with arrows, Pratiyot Swami, shall counter attack, Puja Arhavu, those who are worshipful, Ari Sudana, O killer of the enemies. Translation. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counter attack with arrows in battle? Men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship. Purport. Respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipful. Even if they attack, they should not be counter-attacked. It is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then how it is possible for Arjuna to counter-attack them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather Ugrasena or his teacher Sandipani Muni? These were some of the arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so Arjuna, hearing Krishna, last two verses, like last two shlokas spoken by Krishna, what was Arjuna's response? O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu. So Madhusudana, that he was somewhere else addressed as Madhusudana. So he had killed a demon named Madhu. So he was addressed as Madhusudana. So, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? So Bhishma Dev is like grandfather, and Dronacharya is like his teacher. So such great personalities, how I should fight against them. Respectable superiors. Now in the Vedic culture, any superior, there was nowadays there is no culture. Now in the Vedic culture there was no old age homes and all. So the elders, they were taken care of in the family itself. But in the present day there is no culture at all. Mm, so respectful superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, Dronacharya, teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counteracted. So that's the general etiquette, if you see. And even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then, so this is a common etiquette, etiquette for any civilized person. So for Arjuna, how it was possible when should not just one should not even have a verbal fight with such great personalities, how it was possible for Arjuna to fight against them, to shoot arrows at them. So in a friendly, like, because they are in a friendly level, friends, like cousins. So Arjuna is kind of pointing to Krishna that, oh, would you kill, you are telling me to fight, but would you kill your own grandfather or your own teacher? Why are you asking me to kill? How we speak to our friend. So in that way, Arjuna was trying to make that point. Okay, next 2.5. This is again small one. Okay. Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktam bhaiksham apiha loke hatvartha kamamstu gurun ihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pratigdhan. Synonyms: Gurun, the superiors; ahatva, not killing; he certainly; mahanubhavam, bhavan, great souls; shreya, it is better; bhoktum, to enjoy life; bhaiksham, by begging; api, even; iha, in this life; loke, in this world; hatva, killing; artha, gain; kaman, desiring; to, but; gurun, superiors; iha, in this world; eva, certainly; bhunjya, one has to enjoy; bhogan, enjoyable things; Rudhira, blood; Pradigdhan, tainted with. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It would be better to live in this world. So further, Arjuna is saying that instead of killing such great personalities, it's better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So again, this is not a common person's attitude. If somebody has done something, somebody had been an aggressor, like if somebody has done something wrong to us, then we will certainly look for an opportunity to punish the aggressor, or however you say, or take revenge. An ordinary person would do that, but here Arjuna was as exhibiting the saintly behavior, or Vaishnava is very kind in that sense. But so he is like, okay, why should I fight? Rather, better than instead of killing such great personalities, it's better for me to actually live like a mendicant, live in this world by begging, means like live like a mendicant. So because even though desiring worldly gain, even though they are wanting to fight for the kingdom and so on, but still they are superior, so why should I fight against them? If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Purport: according to scriptural course, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. If some, like here, Dronacharya, Bhishma Dev, they all were practically present when Draupadi was being insulted, and none of them took any action, or none of them stopped that thing. So in one sense they were, this was all arrangement. They were all supposed to um, be, because of that they didn't stop and so on, so they were supposed to get the reaction to that, in one sense, if you say. So who engages in abominable action, and and even when the fight was when the battle was decided, like it was confirmed that the battle would happen, they had a choice to go to side of Arjuna, because they knew very well that Duryodhan is going to lose, because he's on side of adharma first of all. Other side Krishna is there, and the Pandavas, the great devotees, are there, so they are on the side of dharma. So they could have gone to side of dharma or gone to side of the Pandavas and all, but that also they didn't do. So um, so such a teacher, or such a personality, who such a teacher is fit to be abandoned. That's what scriptures mention. So Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhan because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial considerations, because Duryodhan was maintaining them in one sense. So they considered it, okay, how can we leave him in this time of crisis. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers because of their act of supporting adharma. They lost their position as teachers. But Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain his superiors, and therefore to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood. So if I kill them and even be victorious in the battle, because I have killed them, so I cannot like that victory will also be tainted with the blood of my superiors. So that's how he was trying to again give his reasons to not to fight the battle. Okay, I will stop here. Completed fifth till fifth verse. If anybody has any points to add or any questions, then please feel free to add or ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Uh, I have a question related to Chaitanya Charanamrit Matha Leela. Last class Guru Mata ji was explaining. Uh, a Vaishnav should always avoid the association of ordinary people. Common people are very much materially attached, especially to women. Vaishnav should also avoid the company of those who are not devotees of Lord Krishna. Is it practical and authentic in nowadays also? Because in our family, if we will see, uh, even most important family members, women family members, are all materialistic and very much involved in this world, away from Krishna consciousness. So how can we avoid them? And if we are avoiding them, is it good or not? This is my question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Very important question. Okay, so yes, it is practical, because now how to apply it, that we have to understand. Atsasanga tyag. So this is very important aspect. Even in Nectar of Instruction, it's mentioned. Before starting Bhagavad Gita, we had discussed Nectar of Instruction. So there, in one of the verses, it's mentioned, like in two verses, twice it's mentioned. That in one verse, the 6 things which are not favorable for devotional life. There also it's mentioned that one should, association. One shouldn't associate with non-devotees. And again, the 6 principles which are favorable to Krishna consciousness. There also it is mentioned, Atsatsanga Tyag, like to give up the association of non-devotees or materialistic people. Now, what does it mean? Now, most of the cases we see is like one person starts practicing bhakti, and practically everybody else in the family becomes like, oh, what are you doing, this is not your age, this and that. So it's a challenge even at workplace, so it's a challenge, or among friends and family, friends, whatever, it's a challenge. So what does it mean not to take, not to associate? Now there are two ways to understand. I can give you one example of going to office. If somebody is working, for example, a devotee, so he's going to office, and now he can take some cookies, prasadam cookies, or some prasadam sometimes, and give to the colleagues and friends, or if somebody is interested to know what are you doing, what is all this about, then one can tell about Krishna consciousness to them. So this is what he is associating with the person, but he is giving their association to the other person. He is not taking their association. He is giving. He is giving Krishna consciousness. He is giving his association to the non-devotee. So this association is all right. But another way of associating is now, in our office we used to have every Friday night they would go for booze party or something like that, I don't know, clubs and all. So if a devotee goes along with them in order to in as colleagues they are all going, so he also goes along with them, then that becomes he's taking their association, which is not favorable. So this has to be avoided. When it is said asat sangat tyag, that means we should give up the association of now. We can give our association to them, but we shouldn't take their association. Similarly, in so that is one example of, but many cases when it is possible to avoid association of someone who is not at all favorable. Somebody keeps criticizing, let's say, oh, what is this devotees, they are all like this, like that. Somebody keeps criticizing, it's better to stay away as much as possible. Okay, as for work related, one has to discuss or talk to them or something, just keep it limited and just get away from there, because we are not very strong in our bhakti yet, and when we hear some criticism or something, we will be like uh, our faith will be like, becomes shaky, like. So it's very important that we, because it is said, what is that, there's a general saying, no, a person is known by the company he keeps, something like that. So what kind of people we associate with, our mentality will also become like that. So if a parrot is kept as a pet in some in a family, in some in a jungle, there are different kind of people. They're not very civilized way. Of course, present nobody is civilized in cities and all also, but their life is little different. So there the parrot is, if a parrot is kept as a pet, so what he will speak, oh, I'll kill you, I'll eat you, or something like that. But if a parrot is kept as a pet in a house of a saintly person, so the parrot will say Hari Bol, Hari Krishna, or something like that. So it depends. It's very important what kind of association we have. Now, when it comes to family or colleagues and all, so the example we discussed about what does it mean to give association and what does it mean to take association. So that we have to be very careful that we don't take their association, but we try to give their association. If it is not possible to give the association, then as much as possible we try to avoid. Did that help?
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much. I understood. I was actually very confused. And also, I want to add one thing, Mataji. I feel like a person is very much lucky to get association of devotees, because it only lead that person to the way of Krishna. So not this is very precious thing that one get the association of devotees in this materialistic world. So I feel myself very lucky in this way. Uh, Thank you so much, Mataji, for making this thing clear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your very thoughtful question. And as you mentioned, yes, association with devotee is very important. It is said there are A, B, C, D in Krishna consciousness. A, B, C, D, E. So A means association of devotees. That comes first. B is books, Srila Prabhupada's books. Um, books. C is chanting. D is diet, that is Krishna Prasadam. A, B, C, D, E. E is engagement, Krishna conscious, engaging in Krishna conscious activities. So, if we see in this, association comes first. So, that is very um, important aspect of our Krishna consciousness. Yeah, thank you for sharing that point. Anything else? Pramila Mataji, do you have anything? Maybe you can type it in the chat box if you are not able to speak. But we can't avoid non-repels. They feel very, very bad, emotional. Yes, that's true. Practically, all of us face that thing. Okay, when it comes to family members, first of all, what mistakes I have heard it in the lecture. What mistake we do is we may have just started practicing, and we are always in a learning phase, but we think that, oh, I know everything, or these people in the family, they don't know anything. So we try to be like, oh, you should be doing like this, why you shouldn't be, you don't know, you have to offer it like this, not like this. Sometimes we become very kind of um, our attitude becomes little rough because of our pride, maybe. So we have to understand that devotee, when we are trying to become devotees, then our behavior also, because a devotee actually represents the whole movement. A single devotee, you as a devotee are representing Srila Prabhupada, you as a devotee are representing your spiritual master, you as a devotee are representing the whole ISKCON movement. Because if uh, like so okay, in that sense we have to be very careful about our own behavior. So when it comes to close members of the family, then we can preach them by our own behavior. So yeah, it is difficult. Okay, for example, if I go to my parents, for example, they may say about, okay, this happened, that happened, this family, that family. Okay, one can just this one, and as when possible one can try to tell that, okay, that in temple we have this temple, is a program and all, something like that. You have to try to make it into turn towards Krishna consciousness, something like that. We can try to do that. And one can preach or impress this. They should feel that, oh, my child, by becoming a devotee, she has become more loving and more caring, and then they will appreciate, oh, whatever she is doing is very nice. This thing generally for those who are studying students, because they face a lot of difficulty at home to practice, because staying at home and nobody is supporting, and they have to practice it, do the chanting and everything, it becomes difficult. This thing is very much, not only for them, for all of us, it is very much helpful, that we have to be very nice to them, so that they appreciate, oh, whatever she is doing is very nice. By becoming a, Gurudev mentions in one lecture, they should feel like by becoming a devotee, she is becoming a very much nice daughter, a much nice wife, or much nicer husband, or they should feel like that. So our behavior is what is our behavior, from that they will judge us as well as the whole movement. So we have to be a little bit careful about it. So we have to a little bit be tactful how we can try to give them the association. I hope it helps, Mataji. Okay. Okay, so I think we'll close for now. Maybe in few minutes there might be start meeting class. I don't. Yeah, it was posted at 3 o'clock around. So maybe at 5 o'clock there might be a class. I'll post it in the group. So thank you so much, Matajis, for joining. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Matajis, Dandavat Pranam.